President Donald Trump has said that he's open to meeting Venezuela's interim leader, Delcy Rodriguez, signaling a possible reset in relations following the capture of Nicolas Maduro in U.S. Special Forces raid. Trump said Washington is working well with the new leadership in Caracas as the United States enforces a naval blockade on Venezuelan oil exports. Rodriguez has indicated a willingness to cooperate with U.S. demands, including access to oil, and has promised the release of political prisoners. U.S. envoys have visited Caracas to discuss reopening the American embassy, while Trump also said he expects to meet opposition leader Maria Corina Machado in the coming days. Let's hear that statement.
Venezuela is really working out well. We're working along really well with the leadership, and we'll see how it all works out.
Are you going to meet with Delcy to go?
At some point I'll meet. She's been very good.
Well, clearly, Shruti, I'd like you to join us back in the discussion. Shruti, it's rather clear that those statements, if it all have come from Rodriguez, are under pressure, and she really has no option but to say that she is open to negotiate, especially when Trump is now cozying up to Machado once again.
Well, it is not just cozying up to Machado. Machado is like a really useful pawn, has always been. He even demanded the peace prize back from her for a small minute there. So she is just the face that he wants to project to showcase that he is a good leader. Although he would definitely not hand over the nation and its assets to her without actually being involved in the politics and the policies of Venezuela. Now, Delcy, of course, as you've said, and I've reiterated in my past statement, that they're going to be under pressure. They're already under pressure. Their economy is already very bad. There have been cruelty against Venezuelans. There are political prisoners. There is suppression of dissent. There is suppression of the opposition leaders. So all is not well with Venezuela, but that does not give Trump the right to go in with his military and take away their president. That is not how you hit the reset button. If you're wanting to hit the reset button, empower the people that can make the changes, make the voices heard. You have sanctioned the nation. It is on its knees as far as economy is concerned. And you have taken away the president. The acting president, just for the sake of her own life, is going to say, let's sit down and talk. And that is something that Maduro was also saying, that let's talk this out. What do you want? And we can work it out. So let's see. I know that she's going to make some concessions. The nation's going to make some concessions to get the blockade away and then try and stand up on its own feet. But at what price is something that both USA and Venezuela need to understand, that maybe, as I said before, every drop of oil that USA plans to extract will cost very, very dearly, and not just in the terms of investment and operational costs.
Sure, indeed. Shruti, once again, do stay on as we give our viewers some more information. Okay, moving ahead now, viewers, German Chancellor Friedrich Merz has arrived in Ahmedabad for his first official visit to India, landing early this morning at Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel International Airport. Prime Minister Narendra Modi will meet Chancellor Merz today, marking a significant step in strengthening India-Germany ties. The two leaders will engage in bilateral talks in Gujarat, reviewing progress on the India-Germany strategic partnership, which recently celebrated its 25th anniversary. Reports suggest that discussions will focus on enhancing cooperation in trade, investment, technology, education, skill development, defense, science, innovation, and green growth. They will also exchange views on regional and global issues and meet business and industry leaders from both countries. The visit aims to reaffirm India and Germany's shared vision for a forward-looking partnership and builds momentum ahead of the India-European Union summit later this month. Shruti, requested to join us back. How crucial is this meeting between the two leaders going to be as far as India and Germany ties are concerned?
Well, this would celebrate 25 years of the strategic partnership with Germany for India. So this move is important for that. We have been partners for 75 years otherwise also, but the strategic partnership celebrates its 25 years now. And with the upcoming EU FTA on the table, there are a lot of avenues, business avenues, trade avenues that are open. we also want to go ahead and build people-to-people ties with Germany. That means exchange of labor force. We're looking to have our healthcare workers find employment in Germany, where there is a large shortage of healthcare workers. We're looking to and for an exchange of skill development. German technology is very, very advanced. It's very, very specific and is celebrated over the world. And that is something that we want to have access with. We've in the past also, we have worked at economy, as in how to ensure that the agricultural aspects of the economy are balanced and trade is, facilitated between the two nations. So we are looking for that. There is technology sectors such as AI, critical minerals, and reduction of dependence on China-made goods is something that I'm seeing is a common thread between any visit of a head of state to India, or India's head of state as a Prime Minister Modi's visit to any particular nation. So reduction on dependence on China is something that is very, very crucial. Also, I do believe there is some defense cooperation that is being murmured about, one of which is submarines. India is heavily dependent on Russian submarines. We have a few French-made ones also, but they're the smaller ones. And the older ones, the bigger ones, are all Russian. So we're looking to have access to, or at least give access to German technology in submarine manufacturing. So let's see how this goes forward. Because with the EU trade on the bloc, if we achieve that, that would ensure that India is not barred by no matter which nation tariffs or whatever other geopolitical conditions are there. India's rise will be unstoppable, and Germany and India are number 3 and 4 in terms of economy. So the meeting between these two nations is just as important as a meeting between the G2, as Trump has put it, between China and USA.
And how important is this for Berlin? Because it has been reported that since he took over, Merz has been, told to strengthen this strategic cooperation with India, and also it's a strategic shift from the previous coalition politics in Germany.
Well, it is important for Merz, and not just for Merz. I think even Macron and the other global leaders look at India as a rising power, and having a good association and tapping into the markets of India is something that every European nation, in fact, every other nation wants. So, and they know that this is doable under the current leadership and the policies of the nation. And so Merz doing this particular trip at the invitation of PM Modi before the EU deal is finalized shows that they have put faith in this particular cooperation, and the nation, Germany as such, look forward to having a longer, more stronger partnership with India, which is not just on our rankings on the list or participation in G7. I believe there were statements made by world leaders in the past 24 hours where they said G7 and BRICS need to unite. And this is probably part of that, where G7 nations are looking towards the rising powers of the world, which are the BRICS nations, economy, trade, defense, and the future of the world, as well as climate change. It hangs in the balance with every particular visit that is happening towards India.
All right, Shruti, we'll leave it at that. Thanks very much for joining us at NewsX World. And moving